Hey everyone, this is Matt with Highline Financial Coaching. This is On the Money with Matt. Today you'll notice that I don't have my partner in crime. My bike is not in the picture today because we've had a couple races and I went to squeeze my brakes the other day and the front brake didn't work. So they had to replace the fluid and I really didn't want to do it, so I took it to my mechanic who does an awesome job with that. So Samantha will be back tomorrow. So today I'm excited to talk to you about a topic that affects, I think it's 75% of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which is incredible. We live in one of the greatest countries on earth for people to be able to earn money and to be able to grow. And yet the majority of Americans, including myself during a lot of my life, have lived paycheck to paycheck. And what's even more incredible is over 50% of people that are earning more than six figures are living paycheck to paycheck. And I can tell you that's the truth. I've been coaching for almost 8 years now, and it really doesn't matter how much money you make, it's how much money you spend. And so today we're going to go over some of the negatives or some of the ways to not live paycheck to paycheck because it makes it extremely difficult. So you can see I've got a family of 6 of us plus 2 dogs, and we have a rabbit and fish. So there's a lot of things that we're providing for. And over the last couple of years, it's been extremely difficult to not live paycheck to paycheck. So during COVID, back in 2020, the economy was a certain way. Things were really going in a good direction. And then COVID hit and kind of threw a wrench in a lot of things. A lot of companies were struggling during that time. They couldn't open their doors. Inflation jumped. Inflation's been up around the 9-10% range, which is higher than most of us have seen in our lifetime. Also groceries, and when stores opened up, a lot of them had to make up the loss that they had. And so you saw prices skyrocket. There was a lot of money funneling in from the government to companies to individuals. We just saw a huge increase in inflation, groceries. I used to be able to go to Costco and fill up the entire cart, and it would be less than $300. Now, if I just go to Costco and fill up half the cart, it feels like it's $500. So I'm sure a lot of you that are listening feel that pain. It's you go out to eat now. Even if you go to a fast food restaurant, it's about $15 per person every time you get something to eat. So for a family of ours, even going fast food, it's still an $80 expense when we go out as a family. So there's a lot of families that are living paycheck to paycheck because even though we had all these increases, companies didn't increase how much they were paying their employees. They weren't given 20, 30, 40% increases to their employees during that time. So you've seen a lot more people creep up to that paycheck to paycheck, even if they weren't doing that before COVID or before these last couple of years where the economy's been crazy and it's been all over the place. So one of the things that we love to coach people about is managing your budget. We've talked about it in the past. And if you're on here going, well, what is a budget? Well, a budget is knowing how much money you have for the different categories that you spend in. Now, a basic budget is really how much money do you have coming in, how much money do you have going out. So if you've never even messed with a budget, go ahead and sit down this weekend, pull up your bank account, see how much money went in, how much money came out. And you can pull that up from any statement on your bank statement and see where you're at. Hopefully you're in the positive. Hopefully you're not spending more money than you make. And that's how you know you're in the positive. Now, as you get a grasp on that, you can start digging a little deeper. One of the things that we coach and we tell people is there's certain expenses that are variable and there's certain expenses you can't do a whole lot about. So we have monthly expenses that come out on the same day every month. Those ones, unless you eliminate that expense, there's not a whole lot you can do. Now, you can look into your health insurance, your car insurance, your cell phone plans, and your cable bill, and you can go to lower packages so they're not as expensive. But overall, those are going to be the same. So what we say is look at your variables. These are the things, groceries and household items. I consider anything that I buy at Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, Target, Good Earth, Whole Foods, any of those places, I consider groceries and household items. And then look at how much fuel you're putting in your vehicles, gas, diesel. If you have an electric car, that can go under your monthly expenses for your electric bill. But look at those areas. And then there's entertainment or leisure, vacations. That's another area that you want to look at. Also, your miscellaneous budget. This is one that is all over the board for my family and I, because there is always things that come. Miscellaneous will be the co-pays for your insurance, prescriptions, dance lessons, sports, anything that you didn't account for in your groceries, gas, entertainment. Eating out is also a huge one. A lot of people spend quite a bit of money eating out. So just lump all of those together in a monthly budget. Those are the ones that you're going to be able to control a little better. And then break that down into a weekly budget so that you can just look at that one number every week and make sure you're living semi-close to your budget. And that's a good place to start. So that's how you can look at these different things. Also, with those expenses, when you start trying to cut back on expenses, please don't go with groceries first. Groceries are something you need to live. A lot of times when I work with people, they're like, yeah, we're going to cut back when we go buy groceries, instead of cutting back on their cable package that's got 400 channels. Or looking at the subscriptions they have that they aren't even using. You can cut back on half of those and save $100, $200 a month. So there's a lot of different scenarios of people living paycheck to paycheck. Now, one of the things we ran into was we weren't living paycheck to paycheck. We had money every single month, and then most people that were budgeting correctly before COVID and had extra money, as soon as COVID hit and all these expenses skyrocketed, now they're having to live paycheck to paycheck. So it's a whole new world. Now they're trying to figure out how to do that. Now, if you're at a job where your income doesn't change at all, you've got a set salary and it hasn't jumped up, you may need to look at taking on a side job or something else to increase the income that's coming in if you can't decrease the expenses that are going out now. Because again, there's a lot of things we can't control. We can't control the economy. We can't control inflation. Gas prices, I wish I had a magic wand that could get them back to where they were a long time ago, get them back to less than $1 a gallon. I remember when I was in high school, that happened once, and it was awesome as a high schooler having to pay for my gas. But there's things we can't control. We can't control those things. But the thing that we can control is our income, our expenses. We can control how our budget is. So there's a lot of ways to be able to do that. And then at Highline Financial Coaching, we like to prep people for the inevitable expenses that happen. There may be a job loss, there may be an emergency, a medical situation that costs you a lot of money. If you prep now, if things are going really well with your finances, that's exactly when you want to start prepping your finances, because it's so much easier. It'll take you half the time to get on top of your finances at that point than it does if you destroy your credit, if you max out all your credit cards, if you do all those things and then start working on it. It takes a lot longer to get on top of those things. So I love when people come to us and say, hey, Matt, we're ready to do this. Let's get on top of our finances. And guess what? We got a good credit score. We don't have a ton of debt. We're going in the right directions. That's when we can really move quickly and explode where you are with your finances. In a short amount of time, you may be in an investment property or buying a house or investing in your future. So there's a lot of those things that we can help do. So if you have any questions or want to do a complimentary financial analysis with us and see where you're at, contact us directly. And we'd love to sit down and see where you're at. And those of you that are pounding away at it, congratulations. You're still moving in the right direction, providing for your families. Here at Highline Financial Coaching, we're here to help get you to that next level. I know with myself, the only way I was able to pull myself out of that paycheck to paycheck was to finally get some help, get on top of it, and move in the right direction. It was one of the best investments I ever made. And it's very enjoyable seeing people get to that next level. So again, this is Matt with Highline Financial Coaching. I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you.